streaks. I don't get to do it every day because if there's a large slate of games, then sometimes it's hard to go through everybody. But on a shorter slate of games like tonight's slate, I definitely like to go through some of the players that you can keep an eye on that are on hot streaks right now. So let's start with who's hot. Who's hot in Major League Baseball? Ryan O'Hearn of the Orioles. He's batting .571 over his last 7 games. His .383 average in May, second best in baseball. O'Hearn's hitting .340 this season. All other Orioles combined are hitting .226. Eesh. See, if you would have thought the Orioles had a down year, I would have thought it was last year with a sophomore slump. But it seems like they had a delayed sophomore slump in Baltimore. Miles Mikolas owns a 1.34 ERA since April 23rd. That trails who everyone was talking about yesterday, like a Nathan Eovaldi, looks like an ace, looks like a Cy Young contender. Yeah. Well, Miles Mikolas, underrated name since April 23rd, looking like Eovaldi and Max Fried for the best ERA in that span. The Cards have won 5 straight Mikolas starts. So that's going up against the Orioles tonight. Elly De La Cruz for the Reds, hitting .438 with 3 home runs, 7 ribbies, and 8 runs in his last 4 games, including 2 homers yesterday. TJ hitting .457 with 4 extra base hits and 9 runs scored in his last 8 games, including a 5-game multi-hit streak. Seiya Suzuki. Oh my goodness, Seiya Suzuki. This is crazy. I didn't realize, because I just try to do too much, how great of a season he's really having. He's hitting .448 with 8 extra base hits and 11 ribbies in his last 7 games. Suzuki's 50 ribbies leads Major League Baseball. Only Judge and Ohtani have more extra base hits than Suzuki this year. So if you want total base props, you want RBIs, make sure to add in Seiya Suzuki. Who's hot? Slide 2. Kyle Tucker on a 7-game hit streak, hitting .464 with 2 home runs and 6 runs scored. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. has a .388 on-base percentage with 21 runs scored during his 27-game on-base streak. Don't sleep on the runs scored props. They pay out very nicely. Kikuchi, I mentioned this with Tom. I don't get it. I don't know what the hell it is. The Yankees crush lefties unless your name is Yusei Kikuchi. He's 3-1 with a 2.30 ERA in 5 starts against the Yankees since the start of 2023. It makes no sense. Aaron Judge can't hit him. I don't get it. Cal Raleigh, you guys were mentioning this in the chat before. He's 1 home run shy of his 4th 20 home run season. He needs 2 home runs to catch Johnny Bench for 3rd most homers by a catcher in their first 5 MLB seasons. His 19 home runs, 2nd behind Shohei Ohtani. He has 8 home runs in 25 games at T-Mobile Park. That is crazy. Cal Raleigh is having a hell of a season. You're getting a nice number. I mean, not so much anymore. He's a little longer than 2-1 for home runs, but still, he's crushing the ball. Looks great. Last who's hot. J-Rod hitting .312, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs in his last 18 games. He has homered in 3 straight games against the Nationals, dating back to last year. 4 for 5 with a home run lifetime against Trevor Williams. Now, I'd have to check whether, and I don't really know too much about, I don't really do home run props, but it looks like a nice night for J-Rod. That's one of those things where everyone likes to bet these weird, crazy, fluky trends. I'm sure J-Rod doesn't think much about, it being the Nationals. It's just kind of crazy. 3 straight games against the Nationals with a home run. James Wood also playing well for the Nats, hitting .364 with 3 homers and 12 ribbies in his last 9 games. Sean Michael says, J-Rod, Ohtani, Raleigh, and Wood, 1 hit parlay plus 350. That's a lot of legs. That is a lot of legs. Okay, the chat's distracting me a little bit today. These are the 2 matchups that stood out to me, which I just mentioned. J-Rod, 4 for 5 with a home run against Trevor Williams. Judge hitting .200, 5 for 25, 2 home runs, 12 strikeouts against Yusei Kikuchi. Yikes. No bueno. K-props to watch for tonight. So I gave out 3 this afternoon for the slate. So now I've got 3 more. I added this, one of these from the morning newsletter. First, Baltimore's lefty Cade Povich, over 4.5 Ks. I know that Povich has been extremely annoying and very inconsistent. However, He has just had 2 games this year at home against high K rate teams. In those 2 games, Cade Povich had 8 strikeouts against the Red Sox, 9 strikeouts against the Nats. Overall, Povich has had at least 5 strikeouts in 4 of 6 starts against high strikeout rate teams. And the Cardinals are averaging 5.5 strikeouts a game against lefty starters. 11 of the 14 lefties to go up against the Cards have gone over their strikeout prop. 6 of the last 8 lefties to face the Cards went over 4.5 strikeouts. So I like Povich tonight at home as long as rain doesn't interfere. The Yankees righty Clark Schmidt, this one is more of a value play if you can get close to plus 110. I did this yesterday. I've been backing overs against the Angels most of the year. Rodon went over with 10 strikeouts yesterday. And I know that's lefty-righty splits, but righties also. So like lefties striking out a lot against the Angels, so are righties. 26 overs, 17 unders against the Angels, with righty starters averaging just over 6 strikeouts a game against the Angels. Clark Schmidt's only had 1 start this year where he has faced a high K rate team, and he just had 8 against the Rockies. That was in altitude in Colorado. Small sample size. There is a reason that Clark Schmidt's number is so high. It feels like he should always be a 5.5. He's a 6.5 because the Angels are striking out a lot. So I would take a look there. Mariners righty George Kirby under 5.5 Ks. Tom and I are on the same side for this. So we've only seen Kirby make 1 start this year. He had 4 strikeouts against Houston. He only went 3 2/3. Last season, Kirby went under 5.5 Ks in 8 of 15 starts against low K rate lineups. At home, he tends to pitch better. So if this was like 4 or 5 starts in, I probably would have stayed away with Kirby at home. Yeah, because it's just Kirby's 2nd start of the year, and he's up against the Nats, where the Nats had 26 unders, 14 overs against righty starters, averaging 4 strikeouts a game. 9 of the last 10 righties to face the Nationals have gone under 5.5 strikeouts. So I would look to George Kirby tonight as well for an under on the strikeout prop. I did have a fishy line, but it got moved to tomorrow, and now it's probably not going to be fishy. It was a fishy line today between the Phillies and the Braves, but the line moved like 10 cents against Wheeler today, which was so bizarre with him pitching at home. But now it's going to be Wheeler and Sale tomorrow, so who the hell knows how that line's going to turn out. I do have NBA stuff, and I don't really know much about the NHL, but I'm going to tell you some useful info, so it's time for propaganda. These are your most bet-on props according to BetMGM in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. I actually have 2 of them because DraftKings posted theirs as well. But the most bet-on tickets, so Sam Bennett, anytime goal scorer. Sebastian Aho, anytime goal scorer. Matthew Tkachuk, anytime goal scorer. Seth Jarvis, and Alexander Barkov. Those are BetMGM's most anytime goal scorer bets. DraftKings also has Sam Bennett, Sebastian Aho, and Matthew Tkachuk to score a goal. So if you guys are against the public and like to fade the public, then this is what you could look at is Bennett, Aho, Tkachuk, Bennett, Aho, Tkachuk. So it's like the same for both books. Those top 3 are your most bet on goal scorers, which again, in hockey, like makes sense. Right now you have a team that is, let me see the odds. The Panthers are up 3-1. The Canes short dogs at home, plus 102, kind of. Like, it's not that bad for being down 3-1 in the series. The fans are just happy. My Carolina people are just so happy that team came away with a win and didn't get, like, swept again in the finals. Was it, like, their first finals win since, like, the 90s or something? That's pretty sad. Pretty crazy. In the NBA tonight, let's see. I'll start with OKC. I mentioned this earlier with Tom. The SGA prop is too high. 32.5. I don't care. Go bet the over if you want. I can't mathematically do it. It's high and you're paying the premium because it's SGA at home in a clinching situation. Where SGA, don't get me wrong, has done well in clinching situations. So he's averaging 30.5 points per home game in the NBA playoffs. SGA put up 38 and 35 in both closeout games. One was on the road in Memphis, one was at home against Denver. But SGA, it indicates, is averaging 30.5 points a home game. So you're paying for 2 extra points, 2.5, like 3 extra points essentially. So again, I'm not going to fade it. And it's also a number he's gone over in just 2 of the 4 games this series. But I can't get myself to do it. Can't do it. Now, SGA's assists, 7.5. He's gone over that number in 3 of 4 this series, including both home games with 9 and 8. He just hasn't gone over them in any of the closeout games. So you could look at it either as what you've seen so far in the series, what you've seen against them in the regular season, or you could look at what SGA does in closeout games. In closeout games, he dominates with 35, 38 points, and he goes under his assists. So far, against Minnesota, not as confident. And overall, if you're betting SGA's average, it's 30.5 points is what he's averaging at home in the playoffs. So do what you want with that. If I want to go for somebody, I'm going for somebody that is more on par with his average, and that's Jalen Williams. He has been the second most consistent player offensively outside of SGA. He's averaging, Williams, 23 points a game this series, 20.5 at home in the whole postseason. Williams has had 22 or more in both closeout games. He had 23 and 24 points. If you want to look to someone that has similar hitting numbers to SGA, and I don't mean like similar in regards to like, no, he's not averaging 30 points a game, but at least he's going over his points props. Jalen Williams, he should have another big game tonight, especially if they're just looking to close this thing out. So I'm looking at fading a couple of T-Wolves players. Anthony Edwards, he's another one that you're paying a premium on. Oh, let me switch graphics. Anthony Edwards, you're paying a premium on also, just like SGA. Anthony Edwards' points prop has been all over the place this series. He was at 24.5, up to 27.5, now down to 26.5. Edwards this season has gone under 26.5 points in 5 of 8 games against the Thunder. On the road, Ant-Man has gone under 26.5 points in all but 1 game. You are paying a premium. I'm just going to show you. I have all the numbers on the PropQueen.com newsletter. Again, you can subscribe at thepropqueen.com to the newsletter, and all this information does get posted there. Let me see if I can fit this in. No, it says I have too many graphics in. One more try. These are Anthony Edwards' numbers this season against OKC. The 4 at the beginning are his regular season numbers, 15, 23, 29, 17. Then the postseason, 18, 32, 30, 16. 2, what is that, 8 games? 2 of the 8 he's had over in OKC. How could you mathematically bet this? Like, unless you love the T-Wolves tonight. Honestly, if I loved the T-Wolves tonight, I'd be betting for the Julius Randle comeback game. I can't bet Ant-Man. I can't do it. His assist prop is up from 4.5 to 5.5, plus money to the over. Again, if you do look at his assists, 3 straight games with 6 assists, which also scares me a little bit. But if you look at the games in OKC, over 5.5 has hit in all but 1 of them. So you could look at the assist prop as well, but that's a close call because it's mostly he usually hits 6. Plus money to the over for a reason, obviously. Rudy Gobert, I know Tom mentioned this and we were on the same page. Under 7.5 points for Gobert. His points prop, I mean, it's low for a reason. He just had 13. It didn't really adjust much. Now that he just had a good game last game, I'm like, yeah, well, F that, I'm out. Gobert's had just 2 and 5 points on the road in OKC this series. He's gone under 7.5 points in 3 of 4 overall this series. Take out the 27-point performance in LA in the first round. Gobert's averaging just over 5 points per road game in the playoffs. No shot. Taking the under. And if he has a blowout amazing game with another 25-point performance, then great. I'm an idiot. And I took the wrong under. I should have bet the under the other games. But after just putting up 13 last game, I don't foresee Gobert having another big game this time around. Yesterday I was talking about, and you guys can answer me in the chat. So yeah, I did post last night that I hate when the Yankees are on the West Coast. Hate. It just keeps me up, and then when I want to go to bed, I feel guilty for leaving my team while they're on the East Coast for late night games. Like, it just sucks. But it's great for betting. When I go to Vegas and I am looking, like, I wake up at, let's say, 6 a.m. in Vegas, 7 a.m. in Vegas. Everyone's been awake in New York for like 2-3 hours, and they've already got their bets in. The lines already moved, and I'm all pissed because I missed the good numbers. So, yeah, the East Coast just bothers me sometimes, like last night. But we do have this basketball game tonight. We have some hockey action, so that's going to be good. I'm probably going to end the show a little early today because I'm kind of out of things to talk about. There's not a lot of baseball tonight, just a few games. Jessica Brand isn't in the chat, but she's also given out some of her favorite plays for tonight on the PropQueen.com newsletter. So you can definitely go and check out PropQueen.com newsletter. But yeah, so I think I'm just going to go to my Royal Locks of the day, and then I'm going to close this thing up so I don't keep you guys waiting so much longer for me to just ramble on about nonsense. Let's go with the Royal Locks. Royal Locks of the day, going with the under 7.5 points for Rudy Gobert. Gobert's averaging just over 5 points a game on the road in the playoffs this year, not including that one game in LA where he had 27 points. Take that out, 5 points a game on the road. He just had 13 in the last game, so I just can't foresee Gobert doing back-to-back above average offensive performances for himself the way he hasn't this entire series. So under points for Gobert. I love Cade Povich tonight over 4.5 strikeouts. The number's just wrong as long as weather doesn't impact it. At home, Povich is putting up 8 and 9 strikeouts against high K rate teams. He's had at least 5 strikeouts in 4 of 6 starts against high K rate teams. 11 of the 14 Southpaws to face the Cards have gone over their strikeout prop, averaging 5.5 strikeouts a game. So Cade Povich over 4.5 strikeouts tonight. Thank you guys for listening to the show. Shawn Michaels says, my